it going, everyone? My name's Dara. The Binding of Isaac, a great dungeon crawler-like indie game that was released in early 2011 about a young boy and his mother that lived in a small house on top of a hill. A mother who, according to the game's story, was told by a voice from above, the voice of God, as she believed, that Isaac was a boy corrupted by sin that needed to be sacrificed to him, so she would show that she loved God above all else, and she was more than willing to oblige. Isaac manages to escape his mother by finding a trap door to a secret basement in his room, and things from there on start getting a bit strange. Using his tears as weapons, he has to go through many different floors, beating many different enemies, until his mother finds him. He successfully defeats her, however, as a Bible drops into her head by a force from above, and just like that, it was over. Except, it was not. The story of this character progresses more and more each time you play it. Every time you defeat the last possible boss at your current stage, you get more and more endings for the story. And the deeper and more bizarre things get, you slowly start getting more and more answers from the different endings until we uncover Isaac's full story. The story of a boy, a sweet, sensitive little boy brought up and raised in a strict Christian home. A loving father and a mother who seem happy, but as time passes, they argue more and more, while at the same time, something dark grows inside of Isaac, his inner demon, his sin, the cause of everything bad happening in his life, the cause of all the horrors befalling upon him. But is it truly a demon inside of him? To what extent are the events of the game even real? In this video, we will discuss all of that and more as we try to uncover the truth about Isaac, the truth of what his demon inside. Disclaimer: this video will discuss various sensitive issues such as mental health and sexuality. I want to clarify that this is merely a subjective theory of mine, not a fact. If you're easily triggered by these subjects, then I suggest you click away now. So with that being said, let's get on with the theory. We will start off by answering the question of to what extent are the happenings of the game real? Well, to start from the beginning, as much as Isaac's mother is a devoted Christian, I do not believe that she went insane hearing the voice from above that told her to kill her only child. But I do believe that it is simply a perspective of an over-imaginative Isaac. The image and story he started to create of what is his extremely negligent mother. Most of the game elements come from his imagination of a creative but clearly disturbed boy. He's bullied by his classmates, neglected by his mother. He is misunderstood. We can get this information on the flashbacks that Isaac has in every cutscene after finishing a floor and from multiple endings. As a child growing up in such an environment, it's very common for them to ask themselves at one point, is it my fault? Is there something wrong with me? Am I bad? After analyzing and thinking about the game critically, I came to a conclusion. Isaac is either gay or bisexual or transgender. Sounds absurd, right? But please hear me out. Now, as you can see, besides Isaac being a lover of art, he's very sensitive and constantly looking, wanting, and seeking affection. He hugs his mother's leg only to be pushed away, offers a girl a pretty flower only to be laughed at. He really likes to cross-dress as well and gets bullied for it. If I'm not mistaken, I even heard that the creator confirmed that Gertie is indeed female and said something of a transgendered representation of the LGBT community. Please don't hold me accountable for that. I'm not 100% sure, so take it with a pinch of salt. Anyways, at home, things seem happy and normal for quite some time until the parents start arguing. But what about? My theory is that Isaac's father was fighting the mother of something to do with Isaac. Something most likely to do what he perceives as his sin, causing one of the main reasons the parents divorced. I see the reason for his father leaving his family with two possibilities, one on the lighter note and the other on the sadder note. The lighter reason is that he and his wife fought about both Isaac's femininity and the mother's lack of acceptance towards it because of her very strong Christian beliefs. The father was probably in a very unhappy marriage with his wife for being the way she was and couldn't stand it. Now, at this point you might be asking, well, if he was so unhappy with Isaac's mistreatment, then why not take custody of him instead of leaving him with the mother? Well, for the most divorce cases, usually the one with the most rights of having child's custody is the mother, and they win it for most of the time as well. And I'm sure the situation is not too different here. He probably wanted his son to be with him, but couldn't, so he left. Both because he couldn't bear seeing his kid being mistreated, and because he couldn't stand his wife. I would like to believe he does want to see his son as his right, but the mother being a selfish woman, she probably doesn't allow this much often. She doesn't seem as insane as the story Isaac created in the game, but I would not consider her a very rational and stable woman either. But she does care for her child at the very least. I mean, she wouldn't put missing posters of Isaac when he went missing if she didn't care for him. The problem there is that, like I mentioned before, she's a possessive Christian woman, not open-minded and not allowing Isaac as much freedom. She was supportive of his hobbies at first, being that after all, she was the one who gave him the present of the wig. Heck, I even dare say she might have even been delusional, wanting that Isaac was a girl in the first place, but then taking it all back, realizing that her son was a transgender, which is a sin for most Christians. You at home watching might think that this is mad behavior and that it makes no sense. But this is exactly why Isaac is such a problematic boy. His mother is clearly a woman who is delusional and insane. I mean, not stab your kid to God insane, but definitely mentally ill. So to us, of course, her choices and thoughts make no sense. I mean, if I married someone like that, I realized they were a hopeless nutjob, I'd probably get the fuck out as well. And here's where I come with a sadder possibility for the father leaving his family. Just like his wife, he could have likely been a very Christian man as well, and hence why he got married. Could have been some sort of arranged wedding, but that's all they had in common. So when he saw that his son was being a little too feminine, he didn't want to accept the sort of behavior. Hence why he fought with his mother so often and eventually abandoned his family, leaving nothing behind, not even child support in any way. This completely broke the mother mentally and started to cause her negligence towards Isaac, blaming him for being the cause of her husband leaving her. She insults her son with words like fag or queer. Isaac doesn't understand this. He doesn't understand why people are so cruel to him for being different. He even wants to hurt others and get revenge because of despair at certain points in time. So he looks inside the Bible to see why he is sinning. Being raised as a Christian, he believes the cruel things against homosexuality or transsexuality, looks into the mirror and sees himself from then on as a demon, a sinful existence. Regardless of what point of view you see that story from, this is too much for little young Isaac to handle. And the constant harassment he has to go through every day by his classmates and by his mother drove him to complete despair and extreme anxiety, as shown by his heavy breathing and hiding from the world, and likely depression for all the extreme sorrow he was constantly in. The boy shoots tears as a weapon, for fuck's sake. Tears! The severe anxiety caused him to start hiding away in his treasure chest. Eventually, poor Isaac got locked inside his treasure box accidentally, which induced a panic attack. You take that hyperventilation plus being locked in a small containment with a limited amount of oxygen, and you will most likely faint very quickly. But before he does, he reflects on his life and all the people that did him wrong. He has a long time to think to himself. He finally realizes there and then that he might not be a demon after all, and then he smiles happily. And as time passes, he runs out of oxygen and passes away. So that concludes my video, everyone. Again, this is just my subjective interpretation of the hidden story in the game, and absolutely nothing against the LGBT community at all. So please do not think that my analysis in any way is some sort of double meaning. That being said, what do you think of my interpretation? Did it make sense or not? Let me know in the comments below, along with any other criticisms that you might have. So yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good shit to help my channel grow. And please hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload my next video. It really helps a lot. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And remember to stay determined. TTFN, guys!
To join forces.